Hello my darlings, today on our channel I am going to show you how to create a farm glam herb garden caddy. Stay tuned. For this project, you will need a few of these Dollar Tree clay pots or any pot of your choosing. You will also need one of this woodworking plank. You will need 6 of these 3.5 by 5 inch frames, as well as any floral adhesive that you have. You will need a pack of these decorative nails, as well as one 5-inch mirror. And you will also need one of these metal or galvanized plaques. Of course, you will need your handy dandy tools. Let's get crafting. So here is a frame that we are going to use to create this craft. There are 2 reasons in particular that I liked this piece especially. The first of which is that little section in which we will be able to place our labels in it so that others will know what is growing in our little garden. It is affixed by 2 screws. I would strongly suggest, however, that you do not pull those out, as it may splinter your wood or weather it in some way. And the second thing that I liked about this frame, of course, is that beautiful picture that it was sold with. Sample picture, of course, you know what I mean. The only thing that we're going to have to do to make sure that that 3.5 by 5 is not showing is cover it with our floral adhesive that was listed in our supplies. And of course, I will show you. Then, of course, to prepare this, we're going to take off that kickstand. Remove any stickers that are there because the inside of your box is going to be visible. And here it is. I'm going to show you how I was able to remove the stickers on one of these so that you can see what the inside of your box is going to look like. So for this project today, we are using 6 of our frames. As you can see, I have prepared all of these that are sitting in front of me. But right now, all I'm going to do is show you how I am going to take a floral adhesive to cover up that 3.5 by 5 inch dot, or the dot that says how big the frame is, right? And to do this, I'm simply going to go in with a smidge of my hot glue on the back of the flower, as well as on the glass of that frame. And I'm simply going to put it into place. Of course, apply some pressure on it, and then set this and all the others aside to dry for a few moments. Now here you have the 2 frames, and I'm going to show you how we're going to put this together. Now I'm simply going to glue these 2 frames side by side, or one to the other, with my hot glue. As you can see, I am showing you, you have to decide whether you want your flowers to be on the top when you place those frames together or put them to stand up, or whether you want it to be on the bottom. However, once you have decided that, you are going to apply a generous portion of that hot glue, and you are going to apply some pressure and make sure that those 2 pieces have been set into place. Now this part of the garden box is the back of the garden box, the part of the garden box where we're going to use that crafting plank to create the foundation for our galvanized piece to stand. And so as you can see, I've turned the frames over so that we are seeing the exposed back of that piece, and I am measuring it to see where I want to have that piece sit. Now I am making sure that I'm leaving enough space on that plank where my galvanized piece can fit. Originally, the idea was to take some of these decorative nails to give us a more secure fit with the nail as well as a hot glue, but my darlings, full disclosure, that did not work. Those nails were not rigid enough to penetrate those frames. All right. So as you can see here, I'm going in with my hot glue. I'm finding my placement. Now, if you're looking onto the left side of your screen, you can see where there is a little lip that I didn't level all of the way, so that when I lift it up, you're going to see that the frames are not entirely leveled with that back piece. So just make sure, my darlings, when you are recreating this, you are making sure not to make the same mistake I made. So here we have the back wall of our garden box created. Now what I'm showing you here is what that nail did to that wood. The nail itself was not rigid enough to penetrate that hard wood, and so really and truly all it did was just split the first maybe 2 or 3 layers of that wood. As you can see, that blemish right there, and I was not able to get it to go through. Now what we're going to do now, having decided, you see that lip I just showed you, having decided which way we wanted our flowers to sit, whether facing up or being on the top of our box or facing down, we are now going to create the rest of our box by making sure that our flower placement is going to be consistent throughout those panels that we are going to fit. And now, so to place the other panels onto this box, again, just going in with a dab of hot glue, applying some pressure, holding it in place, of course, until it sets, and then continuing that process, going all the way around until our entire box is enclosed. So here you have the left panel. I'm continuing this process with the right panel. And then we're going to close off that box and then set everything on a side to dry for a few minutes. So while we wait for our box to set into place, we are going to create that galvanized piece that we are going to use as the decorative portion of our box. So I'm using a mirror for this piece here because I thought, how fun would it be to be able to use a paint marker to write little notes on the mirror, to write whatever herbs you are growing in your garden, to write perhaps notes to your loved one that they can find in the kitchen. But as you can see, all I'm doing right now is going in with my hot glue gun and placing my mirror on those slats where I placed the hot glue, applying pressure, making sure that that mirror is squared, and then of course setting it on a side to dry for a few moments. So here we have our garden herb caddy, just about finished. And now what we're going to do is apply our galvanized section to our post. Now, if you notice, this galvanized piece has a little neck where you see that it's kind of kicking upwards for the first about 2 rungs. And so I'm trying to decide where would be the best place to glue that down. Of course, I'm going in with copious amounts of hot glue, as you can see, and I'm going to take my time and make sure that when I place this on my post, my mirror is going to be centered. And so I'm now taking my mirror. I'm trying to center it as best as I can. I'm making sure not to glue down that lip that kicks up. And once I've found my correct placement, I am going to apply some pressure. And then of course set this on a side to dry for a few moments. When I return, I will come back to show you, my darlings, what our finished project looks like. Well, here you have it, my darlings. Our little garden herb caddy. Isn't she darling? Now, of course, I just made this evening and I have no herbs yet to place in my caddy. But as you can see, I have my flower pots, my pots already set in there. Of course, the more I look at it, I think that there is a little bit more that I would have been able to do to maybe make the inside a little bit more presentable or embellished, if you will. But the more I thought about it, I think I like that rustic look. By the time we get in there with our dirt and our herbs and our scissors to cut eventually what we need, that the inside of our caddy is not going to matter much. But of course, my darlings, if you would like to embellish your insides, that of course would be totally up to you. But my darlings, I think we hit another project out of the park today. I love this rustic, this home feel, farm feel aspect of our craft with the galvanized, but then the glam feel of it with the flowers, with the gold and the pearls, as well as with the mirror upon which we would be able to write with our paint markers. My darlings, if you liked this project, please be sure to let me know in the comment section below. Also, let me know what you are going to be growing in your little herb garden. I cannot wait to hear from you. And so, my darlings, I thank you for your time. I thank you for being here in our little corner of YouTube, of course, in our growing community where we learn from and grow with each other in all things craft. Before I leave you tonight, say it with me, the motto to our channel: why buy, of course, when you can DIY. And so, my darlings, until next time, I say to you, please, please, please take care of yourselves for me. Know that I love you all. Mwah, mwah. Bye now.